It always comes to this. More nice. Guys, back again to do another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I showed off all of this orange up here that we added in, and the elbow that Rick and I have worked on again here. This is God knows how many times. I'm always honest with you guys. Most of this hasn't been that hard, but the elbow has been really hard on both arms. This arm more distinctly because of the color palette, whereas with this arm the shine is mostly taken away with the yellow and the green, and kind of when we had the white on black version of this, it kind of worked better with the callus. You can see there the lines all busted up. I have really dry elbows naturally no matter what I do, so where here we had more of an ambitious color palette and it kind of plays counter to that yellow. It's been a lot more work, and where the line weight is more important to go over that elbow, it has been a bit of a struggle. So I always come in straight with how these things work. I've never been dishonest about any of this. This will factor in to where I'm going. So up front always, and telling you guys every step of the way how it works, what it takes, all of that stuff. I had another session with Terry this week, and we did the insides of my fingers a little farther. We dotted all of this in, and we dotted up the wrist as well. The wrist was a little higher finish than either of Terry or I were happy with. It was kind of just the way it was. This one comes a little higher, but we're going to do the same thing over here. There's a little distance to close here. If these dots all heal in the way that we're hoping they will, then I actually plan on framing this in even closer. I want to bring it up almost to the ridge of the moon. There'll be like a little bit of negative there, but I have these calluses to work around, so not sure how that will go. I have a lot of callus from years of working with my hands, and then continuing, I work out every day with weights and gripping pull-up bars and shit like this. Kind of reinforces those calluses. I have thought about maybe trying using like weightlifting gloves, but it's just such a pain to take them on and off, and I just don't care that much. But this is about the worst tissue ever. That's got to be worse than the elbow even. I do hope that the elbow is better this time, but it's healing really nice, but we'll see how it goes. I did a lot of work to try and soften my elbows. I resisted Terry's call to cut the callus off with a knife. I don't think that would actually help. I think that would create, if anything, it would just create scar tissue, and there's nothing harder to cover than scar tissue. It's another one of those things that people are always assuming I have tons of, but I can assure you if I did have tons of scar tissue, none of what we've been doing would be working the way that it has been, and it would be closer to how it's been on my elbows. We would be having these kinds of results that I've had on my elbows if I was scar tissue everywhere. And same thing, like I have these little spots on my thumb that will refuse to saturate no matter how many times that they've been done, and that would be the result you would get if you had tons of scar tissue. Going over all this black and every other layer I've had, it would be immediately into diminishing returns, whereas I've had almost none of that. There's just a few problem areas. Now, why is all of that up front at the start of this? Why is that relevant about always being honest? Okay, so a bit of a long bull winder here, but I've been sort of enjoying a little more anonymity on social media lately. In saying that, I am always happy to be of inspiration to folks, and I hear from people all the time about their own projects they're starting, both with blackout and then piercings as well, actually, and still somehow, even though I don't do much with mine anymore. And obviously color and white on black, black on black projects are starting every day because of my project, and I'm not unaware of this. I have, however, over the last year and a year and a half, I've lost my Instagram, my larger Instagram, and my 1.1 million TikTok. And I don't miss the TikTok at all. I didn't miss the Instagram much either, but the TikTok was the biggest platform I had. And I'll tell you why, like, I didn't really ever care if this whole thing blew up or not. It was never my intent. I was literally just a dude posting tattoo progress pictures, and it took off. That's why I haven't done a lot of the things that several of the people watching this video have asked me to do. A lot of people have offered to step in and edit my videos, and I've had marketers reach out to me. I've been offered to come on all kinds of crazy TV shows, like some of them really terrible, some of them cool. I've been offered to shoot with Inc. magazine, all of these crazy things. And I turned down almost everything because it's not really about clout for me. It honestly isn't. It's never been. And if it was, I would have done a whole lot more of that shit. And why am I talking about this? Well, I've kept my Instagram at a post a day, and it's very far behind. My Instagram's roughly 6 months behind. This video is coming up probably 2.5 months after I make it. Almost everything that I do is this way, and I keep it that way because I'm not really that interested in hearing the thoughts and opinions of detractors. It's not to say that I want to be in an echo chamber, but I actually prefer it when it's a closer knit thing, and it's just people that are actually paying attention to the goddamn project. If you're just viewing me at a cursory glance, I don't actually think you have any right to speak about what the fuck is going on here, because I have put more information out openly to the public than probably any tattoo persona, or whether it be a tattooer or a canvas, that's ever lived. And I don't think that there's any argument about that either. There was a frustrating lack of information about anything deep into tattooing when I got started doing these YouTube vlogs. There still is. Okay? You got me and a couple other guys that talk honestly and openly about this. And even then, the moment that incentives get in there, the moment that people start making money, crazy money off these things, they get corrupted. And all of a sudden, it's more of a hustle, right? Like, this is a very honest feed. That's why I could tell you that I think so-and-so is a moron, and I have no problem doing so, right? This is why I can tell you I have been dealing with what feels like flat earthers in this fucking industry for many years now, right? I have not had a viral post like I had this last post. I posted something on my Instagram that's a 6-month or older video I made on TikTok, but my TikTok isn't that large anymore, so it didn't really, like, it went kind of viral, but it never really reached the heights that I used to reach. And so while I got a lot of positive, because most of what you get now is positive feedback, now that I've conquered the dragon, I've slayed the dragon, I've gone on the journey, and my work is actually looking pretty polished and pretty bright in a lot of people's eyes. A lot of people did not fuck with it when I was building this thing, and now they show up and they're like, holy shit, that's great. It's amazing what you've done. It's like, yeah, you were calling me every name in the book beforehand, and now you come in to reap the benefits at the end. And it's hard not to be smug, it's hard not to be arrogant, and it's hard not to say I told you so. You know, and I feel like a lot of people need to hear that, because it's been stunning, kind of striking how little vision most people have. Like, I did know this. It's not coming as that much of a shock, but unless you're engaging with these voices more or less on a daily basis, you have no idea how little vision people have, how little imagination they have, how little discipline, motivation for themselves, let alone anything else they have. Most people are just barely making it through the day, I think. And so when they see anyone attempting something that seems even relatively difficult, even slightly difficult, they think it's impossible, right? Their immediate reaction is, that can't be done. and you'd have to be stupid to put energy into something that might better you, right? You'll get health experts telling me about the dangers of what I'm doing while they're jerking off furiously, eating buckets of chicken and Cheetos, and the worst health of anything you can imagine, right? People with cats for profile pictures and fucking cars and anime characters coming in telling me I should be afraid of what I'm doing to my skin. Meanwhile, these people probably haven't even left their fucking houses in months. It's hard not to be jaded and bitter towards those voices. But as funny and stupid as those people are, the ones that irritate me more are the tattooers. The fucking tattooers, the ones who should know better, coming in and telling me things like, I'd like to see it without a filter. It's not going to look that bright in a few days. Meanwhile, they're commenting on things that have been healed for years, and I have been fully transparent about this. And they'll be commenting on things saying, it's only that bright. He's in a controlled lighting. He's inside right now. Like, I woke up this morning to a probably 50 to 60 comment circle jerk from a bunch of fucking morons talking about why what I'm doing doesn't work on a video where I'm showing that it did work and has worked. They were all jerking each other off, reassuring each other, don't worry, bro, you're not going to have to work that hard. Surely people understand that that's fake. Surely people understand that he's sitting in a fucking CPL filter. Meanwhile, the last fucking video that I posted prior was me outside. Literally outside. That's why I do those videos. If you guys ever wonder why I do those videos outside, like almost every tattoo reveal is outside. The Mr. Hanky I just did recently, outside. The only reason why Rick and I don't do that is because Rick likes his thing and he does his thing the way he does it. This actually looks better in natural light than it does in the videos he takes. Rick couldn't take worse videos if he tried. In truth, like, Rick is not a photographer. His work looks terrible in his videos and photos. This has always been a thing. It's part of why nothing that Rick is doing on this sleeve trends the way that Terry's work does. It's not even because it's worse. It's because the photos are terrible, right? I still post them because I'm not in it for the clout anyway. And when I get the clout, it actually irritates me. I have been a little chiller in these vlogs, you guys may have noticed, and I'm not saying I'm the most chill guy ever. Fuck knows I'm not. Because I haven't been dealing with this kind of shit. I've been happy to make my progress in my lane and just do my thing, and those who know. That's actually been really good. What I don't like is waking up to a 60 comment circle jerk from a whole bunch of tattooers, some of them who have platforms and a large client base, talking about my work as if it's some kind of fucking superstition. You are fucking morons. If you don't believe it by now, there's nothing I will ever be able to do to prove it. I had a guy come into my comments on YouTube the other day, and I try and respond to all of my YouTube comments. My Instagram, just in particular this morning, was a runaway train. I couldn't even scroll to the end of the comments since I went to sleep 6 hours prior. So there was no tending to that. I just kind of skirted through it. And the overall message is positive. But again, it's one of people with no vision kind of realizing, hey, look at that. He actually did it. Look how good that looked. Hey. And then, hey, could I do that? And it's like, no, probably not, because you're not patient and, you have no discipline for anything. And that's why you're surprised that this worked. But yeah, that 65 comment thread from a whole bunch of tattooers just patting each other on the back. It's okay. We don't have to try that hard. This is all fake. It's not real. Remy's not real. It's not real. It's this thing. It's that thing. No, you just fucking suck. Like, there's no way to skirt it. If you have to fall back on that, and at some point these clowns had some legitimacy because my early pursuits, they didn't look as good as what I'm doing now, right? But that was a refinement process, and I've been transparent about it. All the information is out there. Every step of this has been shown off. And when these lazy half-wits come in and start talking shit about things that they paid no attention to and don't have the discipline to achieve themselves, trying to discredit me, these guys would make better firewood than tattoo artists. Tattoo artists were always the guys that you thought were going to push the boundaries and fucking take chances and do something creative and cool. No, they just want to fucking hang out and do Pinterest tattoos and try and line their pockets with gold. The whole industry has gone this way. I see it in every fucking city. There are more tattooers than people with tattoos, and if you put them all together, they wouldn't have a fucking shred of fucking talent. And in most situations, most of these guys are just in it for the money. You look at their profiles, it's the same copy-paste black and gray realism, same copy-paste trad tattoos that have been done a million times, just trying to make money. It's not about the art of it anymore, and it's one of the reasons why, and people ask me all the time, Remy, why didn't you get into this yourself? Well, I have every opportunity to do so. I've tattooed before. I've pierced. I do laser. I have an open invitation to learn this whenever I want. And I'm probably pretty good at it right away, to be honest with you. But it's so bloated with fakes and people who aren't actually artists already. I don't want to fucking get into it myself because I'm already jaded on it. I see these people as parasites. I don't see them as actual tattooers. They'll tell you, oh, I've been tattooed for 4 years. Yeah, fuck off. You're a piece of shit. Even some of the 20-year guys, I think, are fakes. There's so many of them that it's like, dude, how can you know so little about a craft that you interact with every day? It's fucking embarrassing. We have first-year apprentices doing things that these guys are saying isn't possible. Like, how are you not more embarrassed? It's fucking pathetic. Anyway, part of the reason why I've been enjoying the smaller platforms is I don't have to engage with this level of stupidity full blast every day like I used to. I'm not unaware that it's still there, but it's nice when it's not in your face, you know? I don't like dealing with these idiots, and there's nothing that I'm ever going to be able to do with tattooing that's going to silence them. I've already done everything that they said I couldn't do, and it's still somehow not enough or fake. Someone said to me the other day on YouTube, they say, oh, well, I'm sure once you leave this sleeve alone for a while, people... No, they won't fucking. They won't. Because the minute it's 5 years, they'll be asking for 20. I was showing you guys these roses on my head that I hadn't touched in many, many years. These were 3 years healed before we colored them. They hadn't changed at all. That will never be enough. It will never be enough for these fucking morons. They will always, always push it down the road. So it won't come from me. For whatever reason, they've decided that Remy is getting everything touched up every week, which is as stupid as it sounds, by the way, because how the fuck could you possibly do that? You know, it defies logic how dumb these guys are. And I should start making a list of tattooers not to trust based on the comments they make. And with how wide my audience is going to become again, because it's just a matter of time. Like, I understand that as long as I'm doing social media, I'll just keep growing. I should keep a pinned list of artists not to trust on my social media platforms and just add names to it whenever they make stupid comments like that. This guy's a moron. That guy's a half-wit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That guy doesn't know what he's doing. Just keep adding names to the list and hope that it takes them down. You know, I'm not trying to cripple anyone financially, but if you know so little about your craft that a guy talking shit at 4 a.m. on YouTube knows more than you do, and so do the apprentices working at his shop, then maybe you shouldn't be doing this. Maybe you're holding things back. Maybe you're in the wrong industry, because this is supposed to be a creative industry pushing limits, not pushing schlock every day to people who just want Pinterest tattoos. I understand you got to make your money, but if you're not willing to challenge yourself or learn anything new, get the fuck out. As I said in a video recently, if you're not learning, you should be leaving. And if you're not open to learning new things, get the fuck out of here. Like, you're literally just part of the problem then. The industry is going to grow with or without you, and it's going to look dumber and dumber over time. As time goes on, it's going to be completely irrefutable, and these guys are then going to be like, oh, I knew it would work, I just don't think it looks good. I've already seen that one. No one ever said you can't tattoo over black, we just said it looks bad. No, you did, you fucking moron. I have it in fucking I have it screenshotted. You know, in a lot of cases, people saying, "Oh, that wouldn't work," and then coming back and later and going, "Oh, I knew it would work. I just knew it would look good." You know, you don't get to fucking rewrite history like that. I have been gaslit by a lot of these motherfuckers, and they're still trying. And it has been so nice to be, again, kind of away from it. And not, again, I'm never naive enough to assume it isn't there, but it is nice to have a little break from it. And this morning I got it again full blast. Just a whole bunch of guys jerking each other off and some pathetic fucking display of ignorance. Anyway, got another session coming up with Rick. Probably going to be working on the hand, I think, more. Or somewhere in here, I don't know. And then Terry and I are going to be doing the other fingers and wrist extension next week. So got some cool stuff coming up, I think, anyway. Doesn't matter, though. It's all going to be gone in a week. So don't worry, guys. I'll make sure to touch up my entire body before that video so that everything's looking nice and fresh for you, so that no one gets the wrong idea about this. And I'll be sure to stand in my fucking polarized light and make sure that I, you know, edit this video so it's looking nice and fucking good for a bunch of fucking retards on social media. All right, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.